Where's Shel Silverstein? Have you guys seen him? He's a tall man, he's a big beard. Never seen him before? Anyone seen him? Oh man, that's just like him, you know. Just his own presentation, you know. He's probably back in the clubs right now, talking with his buddies, making new songs, beats. Can't believe it, you know. I'm gonna be here as his friend, only for moral support. He's gonna just do this to me. Huh. Oh, I'm really sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Gene Shepard, one of Shel's best friends, or supposedly, you know, since he dishes his own presentation. And you may know me from the radio. Guys, see? Oh, it's okay. It's fine. Well, do you guys know anything about him? Anybody know anything about Shel Silverstein? You guys.
I think he wrote children's poems, right?
Well, yeah, he did actually, and I'll get back to you. All right. Well, if Shel is going to be here to talk about himself, I guess I can, you know, because I know him so well, you know. So Shel and I met in New York back in the 50s, you know. We were so young back then, you know. We had our whole careers to look forward to. And I remember we would just spend lazy afternoons, or lazy afternoons on Saturdays or Sundays, going to random coffee shops and talking about the meaning of life. Actually, no, we didn't do that. No, we would draw doodles and we would draw from our imagination. We would draw illustrations, you know. Well, from what I got from it, Shel grew up around Chicago like me, so we hit up from there. And I can tell Shel didn't really have the best childhood. He was always socially awkward. Even when I talk to him right now, he's not here, but even when I talk to him, he's been always socially awkward. And he told me he never had friends when he was a kid. But when he was a kid, he would spend those hours not having friends. He would spend those hours working on practicing his art form, he would copy the famous cartoonists like Fergal Patch or Al Cap, if you heard them. He would copy the style, and this really inspired him. His home life was it was all right. I mean, his mom was really supportive of him. She would support him wherever he went, but his dad was not really that supportive of him. He was always ashamed of his son and how the artistic ability he had. He always disapproved of him, and he always wanted him to run the family business, which I guess every traditional scholar would want to do. Well, Shel also served in the army for when he received his draft in 1953. And the funny part about it was, Shel's not a fighter. He's not a fighter. He doesn't want to fight, but he went into the army looking to draw cartoons. Actually, he drew cartoons about the people in the army, about his fellow soldiers on base, and he talked about them, and he got them published. And that's how his works got started. He published in the Pacific Stars and Stripes, which was the newspaper on the base. Well, as you can see right here, these are a couple of his works: Falling Up, A Light in the Attic, and Running Babbitt. So you can just pass them out. Well, if you guys know Shel from his works, his children's books, right, like Falling Up, what I just said right now, well, would you ever consider the same person to work for a company as notorious as Playboy? Would you guys? No? Well, he actually did. You know, that's how he got his start. Well, everyone has to start somewhere. But with Playboy, he gained access to the highest clubs he gained access to the highest clubs, and he also got to travel around the world, which meant me too, because I'm his best friend, you know? You know, I could always tell from the moment I met him, he was a bit of an oddball, you know? He would wear clothes. He would wear the same clothes, right? Of course, everyone wears clothes, right? But he would wear clothes, right? But then I would notice that on these clothes there would be writing and drawings on them, and I'd be like, Shel, what is that? And he's like, they're my inspiration. And I was like, that's kind of weird, right? But I later learned that these same drawings and illustrations were ideas that popped up in his head, and he would use them, and he didn't want to forget it. He would draw on his sleeves and everything, and you know, that's just how it went. But he was really Shel. I remember one time that I bought this jacket for him too, a really nice leather jacket, you know, one that you can wear every day. And that's exactly what he did. He wore that thing every day. And then when I asked him, I was like, Shel, why are you wearing this jacket every day, right? And he's like, this is my rough imitation of him. He's like, I just wanted to. Oh, but he didn't have that deep of a voice, but he always wants to, like, he wants to have people notice him. That's what's so special about Shel. He always wanted everybody to notice him. He wanted to be something unique in someone's life. A person that you see on the street and tell it to your family later on in the day. But even with his many quirks, he has proved to be a somewhat genius. Entering not only in the world of children's literature, he has also established himself in the music industry and in theater. In the music industry, he has a couple of albums that didn't do so well, you know, but he's had a few hit songs in which I was an inspiration for. And for theater, he has also also a couple of off-Broadway shows that haven't done so well, but that's Shel for you. So there you have it, folks. The great Shel Silverstein, who's still not here. I don't know where he is. So thank you for your time and attention. No, I'm just kidding. All right, it's not the end of the presentation. It's story time, and I'm reading one of Shel's most controversial books of all time, The Giving Tree. If you haven't read The Giving Tree before in your life, it's about the relationship between a boy and a mother tree. But Shel got really a lot of controversy for this book. So please sit back and enjoy, and don't try to fall asleep on me, okay?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to reach it.